Hello, YouTube. I thought I'd do something a little different today, and that is move my camera around so that maybe I can make y'all friggin' dizzy. Um, what I thought I would do today is I have gone through and pulled out the majority of the tomato seeds that I'll be starting this year. Now, keep in mind, I only have room to plant out 62 tomatoes, so that's all I'll be planting for my use. And with that, I do have some garden repeats, and I will show you what those are. One of them is Prairie Fire. This is the Baker Creek version. There are two versions of Prairie Fire. One is a red version. I usually differentiate that. It's either early or I call it OG. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these little morsels here. These are one of the best tasting tomatoes I've ever had. This Prairie Fire will always have a spot in my garden. I will always make a grow bag for it. So I will be starting Prairie Fire. I'm on the fence on this one. I'm going to start it for sale for sure. But I'm on the fence if I want to give it another whirl or not. I was beyond really not impressed with it the first year I grew it. However, and that's just because I didn't think it really tasted all that good. But it was very prolific. And you could put it in sauce with other tomatoes that could hold the flavor like the Prairie Fire. And it was good to add bulk to it. So I think I may just go ahead and do another bag of these. And they were kind of cool to look at. And then this one will be making an appearance again. And this is a mushroom basket. This is the one, Bob pulled that one off that we grew. And it was like well over a pound, and it was the most funkiest looking thing I'd ever saw. So, and it tasted good. So these will make another appearance in the garden. Bob requested this one. Our favorite I can't even talk. Favorite flavor profile as far as tomatoes go are the black, like your black creme and so forth. And I don't have black creme pulled out, but it will be going in my garden. I don't know as I'll put it out for sale because honestly, I sell my starter plants for $5 and you can waltz into Wilco or wherever and you can pick up a start of black creme for like $3.49. So I don't think I will be starting that particular one for sale. But this is Ananas Noir, and I grew this one other year and Bob has asked me for it ever since then. So he's going to get his wish this year. And this made an appearance in 2022's garden. And we were so impressed by the flavor of this little cherry variety that I bought a pack of seeds. And so Isis Candy Cherry will be coming back. The other things that I'm going to be replanting in the garden, I can't say as I'm going to, no, I'm actually not going to be I don't think at this point in time I'm going to replant these, but I'm going to start them. I have grown them before, and that's Dancing with Smurfs. I will be regrowing Japanese Black Trifle. I will be regrowing Black from Tula. I grew each of those several years ago. Same with the Ananas Noir. It was several years ago that I grew that, and they're just delicious. But that goes back to we really like the black tomatoes. And of course, Red Dumpling Winter Pink will be coming back. That will always have a spot in my garden, as will Bug Tussle Buttermilk Wonder. So these are the tomatoes that are coming back in the garden. Might as well just go ahead and dump these back into the bag. And then I have, let's see, and I'm going to go ahead and show you these so I can get these in the bag before I lose them, because I don't have these in a brown envelope like I have the rest of my tomato seeds, and that's okay, they don't have to be. But there's Emma's Damn Tomato, and then this one's going to help me get to that goal of a 2-pound tomato in a 5-gallon grow bag. These are King Kong. I have a couple varieties. Now, I do have another order coming in from Ukraine, so of course this is not indicative of all of the seeds that I'm going to start. So there are still more out there. I just haven't gotten them in yet. But I will be starting and growing Burmese sour, bread and salt, and brown sugar. I have the seeds for Auriga, which is another Baker Creek new one for this year, but I'm going to hold on to those until next year. I'm going to grow Mariana's Conflict. Now, I will show you Mariana's piece later on. I want to grow the two. Corbarino, it's an Italian variety. Campadina Rosa, another Italian variety. Pianolo di Vesuvio, that is a long keeper. Those I'm really anxious to try. Tondo con Pizzo, another, that's not a long keeper, but that is supposed to be really, really good. These came from Heirloom Seed House, also known as Portland Seed House. Evan Gregor is a member of Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous. He's got some wonderful stuff. You should check it out. These came from Luann in Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous. And I mean, hands down, Luann has the best packaging I have ever seen. I even like hers better than Baker Creek because these fit in things better. And so I'm going to try Dr. White Cheese. And I'm going to try the Indigo Kumquat. Just because they are pretty. Okay. Now, did the Indigo Kumquat? I'm going to do Indigo Pear Drops. I'm going to do Eros. Because if you look at that, I believe it's a yellow. Perhaps. But it's kind of phallic looking. Cracks me up. Bill Jeffers variety called Gale. And it is a regular leaf yellow. Thank you, Carol, for the seeds. Barry's Crazy Cherry. That's another Luann packaging. Orange Ambrosia. Again, thank you, Carol. I can't remember if I'd ordered this from Alexi or not, but I am very grateful to have it in because last year cherry varieties were really requested and I just didn't have all that many. And so this year I'm upping my cherry game. And this is called a Cherokee Pineapple, another Bill Jeffers variety. And if you'll see a pattern, I've gotten to talk one-on-one with Bill Jeffers a couple of times. And the man is amazingly smart at how to breed tomatoes. And I highly respect everything that he tells me, and I try to soak it in like a sponge. Because, I mean, when you have a chance to learn from somebody who's a master, and that's what I can consider Bill Jeffers to be. I consider Blaine Horton to be, Bill Yoder. But when you have a chance to learn from those guys, take it. Just take it. And that Dancing with Smurfs that I showed you is going to go along with Gargamel. Now, I may go ahead and use 2 grow bags so that I can grow those out myself. I've never grown Gargamel. I've grown the Dancing with Smurfs. And this is called Balaya Vizhna. And that one I'll probably wind up growing. Let's see here. Let's knock everything all over everything else. That's just wonderful. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Moving on. These are the ones I've never grown before. This one is because the name intrigued me. Heart of the Lower Tree. Have a Cigar. Buzao. Very pretty antho. I don't know how good it'll taste, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Clayton's Purple. This comes recommended. I got this from Larry Phipps from Granddad's Barn Farm. And you can look up his page on Facebook. Great guy. Highly knowledgeable. Does business the old-fashioned way. and I have nothing but mad respect for him. Holy Land Bicolor. Throughout all my tomato growing odysseys, bicolors are my jam. And not bicolor as in like green or whatever. Bicolor as in red and yellow. I think they are like the tastiest, most beautiful tomatoes on the planet. Honey Rose. That one is because, well, its name is Rose. Yep, you were sleeping, now you're awake. My dog's name is Rose. This, Florentine Beauty, I got this one from Alexei in Ukraine. This is a big, yellow, ruffly, gorgeous tomato. Pascal Di Picardi. That was really pretty looking. Rick's Big John. That is strictly, I got that one from Larry Phipps from Granddad's Barn Farm. That one is because I have a brother named Rick and I have a brother named John, and it just cracked me up. Yamali Blue Purple. That is the last Yamali out there that I need to grow. I've grown all of the other ones. Tom Wagner, offshoot of a Tom Wagner variety. Your Majesty Bicolor. Ohio River Huge Green. I can't remember where I heard it, but I heard that that is actually a really tasty green variety. If there is such a thing. I didn't know there was, but we'll see. Piglet Willie's French Black. Well, that one was the name. Blues on a Platter. That one was highly sought after for a few months, so I got a hold of the seeds. I'm going to give it a whirl, see what all the fuss was about, or if it's just another one of those that it looks really cool. And, you know, honestly, I do grow out some just because they look really cool. But I really want ones that taste good, too. Janet's Jacinth Jewel. That one looked really pretty. Absinthe, that's a GWR, green one ripe. East Rose, because the name is Rose. And I have a dog named Rose. Wee-tang shebang. No idea what that one looks like. That was sent to me. Somebody, I think they filled one of my wish list requests and sent that along with it. And I thought, that is just cool. I gotta make sure my throat doesn't get dry because I'll start coughing and it's not pretty. Claude Brown's Giant Yellow. I believe this is a variety that Jim Wyant sells as well. I did not get that one from him. But if Jim sells it, it tastes good. Hippie Zebra. I started it last year. And I wound up not being able to grow it because every one of them sold or somebody grabbed them. Because I was like sick in bed and Bob had his buddy come up and they took a bunch of my tomatoes. Like I had to run and grab my yellow Yamali or my Yamali yellow because Bob, without realizing it, gave it away. And it's like, so this was one of them that I never got to try it. So that's going in this year. Queen Aliquippa. I don't know what that looks like, but we're going to find out. And then I had that Mariana's Conflict, and so we're going to do Mariana's Peace. I'm going to grow them side by side. Mint Julep. Now, this may be a Tom Wagner variety. It may also be called Michael Pollan. I think that is the same one, but I am not sure. Unthank Hayes Grisham. I'm not sure why we need to unthank Hayes Grisham, but let's grow the tomato and find out. And then I have Pink Sharpay. Georgia Streak, another bicolor, very pretty. And let's see here. Scabatha. I thought the name was hilarious, but it also, I grew Cascade Lava it'll be 2 years ago. And it looks remarkably similar to this, but I want to see if this one's bigger. Flower Syrup, if I remember right, that is a bicolor. Seahorse, that's got the coolest shape to it. Yellow Out, Red In, I believe that is a long keeper. Purple Calabash, somebody told me to try it, and I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard it doesn't taste good, I've heard it's okay, so we're going to try it and find out. Piedmont Pear, that is another bicolor. Pewee Valley Floyd's Sunshine. That is, what is that? Is that yellow or orange? Orange. Yeah, that'll be a good tasting one. Freckled Child, another bicolored. Like the name. Some of these are just, I like the name. Orange is the new black creme. We shall see. It's hard to beat a black creme. That's my favorite tomato. Dark Orange Muscat. I want to give that a whirl. And Jerusalem Fire. That is another bicolor if I remember right. Oh, and we're still moving along here. Favori di Breton. It is a like shaped like a cream sausage, so whatever, like it's not Roma. Like maybe a paste shape, but it's green. I don't know. The way it looks to me is that it's not going to taste very good, but I could be surprised. So I'm going to try it and find out. Yellow Dog Road Red. I just thought that was kind of cool. And a green cream cherry. Sinyaya Grusha. This is the Ukrainian strain. I did not order this from Baker Creek because I had traded for it when Baker Creek came out with their new releases. California Tulip. Caro Rich. That's supposed to be one of the most, if I remember correctly, beta-carotene rich tomatoes. And then Foodie Bethlehem. I want to say that few either means fire or it means fairy. Now, Fairy of Bethlehem just sounds stupid to me. I can't imagine anybody naming a tomato Fairy of Bethlehem. But I can with Fire of Bethlehem, so I'm going to go with fire. Anyway, that is a bicolor. Pamplemousse Potato Leaf, another bicolor. Bicolor Cherry. Well, shocker of all shockers, it's a bicolor. Mango de Django. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that one might just be orange. Burracker's Favorite. That is one of the most beautiful bicolors I've ever seen. Black Russian Rose. I got that from Alexei in Ukraine, that Black Russian Rose. He is in Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous. He had posted a photo. He posts photos like every day in there. Because let's face it, the man's got a phenomenal tomato catalog for sale. He posted a picture of that and I'm like, I wasn't going to buy any more Antho varieties, but that's freaking gorgeous, so sign me up. And I also got this one from him, Immunity P20. Seattle's Blue Woolly Mammoth. We got Pawpaw, I believe that is another bicolor. And Russia Chardonnay Blush. Now, this one, I haven't pulled it out, but I am also going to be growing Napa Chardonnay. There's two of them there. So one is Napa Chardonnay Blush, one is going to be Napa Chardonnay. I am going to use 2 grow bags for these because I got this one from an Etsy store. When I ordered it, it said that it was Napa Chardonnay Blush, which there is actually a variety called that. So I went ahead and I ordered this. When I got it in, it says just Napa Chardonnay. And it's like, so because I've got both of them, I am going to grow them both out. And if it's the same one, I'm going to call them out on it. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's not because I don't like doing that. So, but that's a wait and see. I'm going to see what it is. Mila. And that's kind of an odd shaped one. It's got a bulb and then it goes, yeah, it's really cool. Let's see here. Matt's Wild Cherry. I'm going to give it a whirl. Smiley Worms. Looks like, well, it looks like a pecker. And it's red. And it's funny and the name cracks me up. Oma's Orange. Oma is German for grandmother. So, if grandma likes that orange variety, it's gotta be good. Sophia's Fiery Comet. Michael's Portuguese Monster. Creamsicle Grape. And Toad Suck Toad. I want to know the story behind the name of this. Toad Suck Toad. That's great. And then we have Ozark Sunrise and Ozark Sunset. Both of those are just stunningly beautiful. Let's see here. I don't normally buy F3, F4, F5, F6, F7. I normally do not buy those. I'd probably buy an F7. I take that back. But when I saw this on Tomato Eden, and it was so incredibly beautiful, and it was like an antho in green, I went ahead and I bought it because, like, their prices are so reasonable. If it doesn't work out for me, I'm really not out that much money. So that's why I justified buying that. And the other one, and I didn't realize this was an F3 because I probably would have skipped over it. But this is just a stunning, beautiful tomato as well. And it's called Banana Lemon Singapore Dark. And it's kind of like Roma shaped, yellow with dark anthro brownish streaks through it. Just absolutely stunning. And then from Granddad's Barn Farm, there was a particular YouTuber had mentioned this tomato, Black Milo, and everybody went gaga and wanted it. And nobody could find it. And she wasn't going to let it go where it was from, which I don't like that. You know, if you got a tomato and people want it, why are you going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody where I got it. I got it at a swap, and I don't remember who the guy was, right? Well, one of my admins, or my moderator, his name is Earl Bassett. And Earl knew exactly where that variety came from. And he's the one that told me, look up Granddad's Barn Farm on Facebook. So I did. And the guy's name is Larry Phipps, and he's awesome. And that's where that came from. And not only did he have that Black Milo, he had green Milo. Well, go figure. Yeah, I just don't like it when people do that. I think that it doesn't speak highly of them to me. Rose Valley Mystery. Why is this one? Why am I like? Because I have a dog named Rose, for starters. The second thing is I live in an area and it's called Rose Valley. So the mystery is, what does that tomato look like? And then I found this, and I bought this a while back. This is a Blaine Horton variety. And it got shoved down, and I missed it, and I missed it, and I missed it, and now it's 5 years old. I'm going to grow these out and see what I can get, because I need to save that if possible. I mean, holy shit, that's a Delta Dawn. Give me a break. Now, these are really cool here. I bought this one from Alexei over in Ukraine, and I didn't know the story behind it, so I posted it in one group that I'm a former member of. And I was like, hey, this might possibly be the coolest named tomato in my entire collection. And I still kind of stand by that, because it is cool. I mean, we got Toad Suck Toad and Emma's Damn Tomato. They're kind of giving it a run for its money, but so far this is a pretty cool name right here. And so I also posted the same thing in my group, Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous. And a guy comes on, a man named Bill Jeffers, and lo and behold, I find out that this is his creation. And oh my gosh, I hope I'm not misquoting here, because I don't have the notes right in front of me. But he mixed or crossed a Cherokee Purple with a hybrid called Summertime Pink. And the hybrid is really predominant back in the eastern markets. Because what he wanted to do is he wanted to get a uniform sized purple tomato that didn't split. He called this Weapons of Mass Destruction. Came out as a pink variety. Anyhow, as the story goes, and this is from Mr. Jeffers, It was over this variety that he stopped really basically having anything to do with Dean Slater, because Dean Slater wasn't really practicing. I don't know how to put this. He was distributing seeds to this in a questionable manner. And Mr. Jeffers believes that the seeds got sent over to Europe, which would explain how they got into the hands of an obscure Ukrainian tomato farmer. And I did a translation on Alexi's description of this, and it wasn't making any sense until Bill said, hey, my grandmother, she was Ukrainian, and the alphabet is the same as Russian, but the language isn't. So I put Ukrainian to English translation, and here comes up this beautiful description of this tomato right here. Well, Bill said that really does sound like what I bred. And I think that that's just awesome. And Bill told me at that time, he's like, grow it out, stabilize it, call it what you want. And it's like, oh, no, sir. That's what I would call it right there. That's what I would call it. So anyway, out of weapons of mass destruction, he got this. And this was going to be weapons of mass destruction jumbo, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And Dr. Carolyn Mayle, with how the political polarization was going in the country at that time, she told him, I don't think that that's a good name for it. So it got renamed to Rosedale. So Rosedale is an offshoot, this is a parent of Rosedale. Out of that, somebody over in France, and I want to say the person's name is Terry Lynn, got another segregate, and they grew it to being stable, and that would be Rosebud. So I've got the whole family here, and I'm going to grow the entire family. Am I going to put these out for sale? No. Those are for me. And me alone. And nobody else. And that's how that goes. Okay. Now, if you know me and how you will know that not only am I a huge Bill Jeffers fan, I'm also a huge fan of Tom Wagner. And last year I grew Yamali Green, Yamali Yellow, Stripes of Yore, Polish Nights, Glacial Zebra, and Cote de Zebra. Well, this year I'm going to go on with that. And I got a hold of Between Cherokee Blues. And I believe this is a Tom Wagner variety, but it might not be, so I might be screwing up on this one. But Alberta Leeway, that one looks like a mini Sart Rollet, and it's beautiful. Queen Anne, I didn't realize that was a Tom Wagner variety. I had actually picked that up and bought that one because I wanted to grow that out in honor of my mother-in-law who passed away 10 years ago this year. We miss her. She was a great lady. Chariots of Fire. Zebra Azil. This is not one that I went out of my way to buy. I did not buy that one. That one I traded for. That there's some that I'm like, It's like I did Glacial Zebra. Well, there's Abraca Zebra, and they both look very, very similar. And so I wouldn't really go out of my way to purchase seeds for Abraca Zebra. However, I would trade for it if that makes sense. And then there's Alki Blue Blood. Alki is a beach up in the Seattle area. And this is going to be an antho. Orange Gabbana. That one sounds interesting. Scarface Blues. Now this one I did go out of my way to buy just because Sirloin of Zebra, it cracked me up. Blue Zebra. This I planted last year. There's a story behind this one. I planted this out and I, got it all separated and I had one set off to the side. Well, for whatever reason, they all got sold or they all got given away. I did not get to plant this. This year I'm planting that. And this year we're getting smart because the stuff I'm keeping is going in one greenhouse. Public's not going in there. They can go in the other one. I have Quagga Quagga. I have Lukenbach zebra. I have green zebra Hawaii. So, and then last but not least, I have Elma Blue. Elma is a little town that's located, oh hell, it's within 30 minutes of me up the freeway. It's not far away at all. And so that's really cool. And then I got a bunch of more Jim Wyant varieties. And he's the guy that I get the Bug Tussle Buttermilk Wonder and the Red Dumpling Winter Pink from. Well, this year we're going to try Jane's Judy Clark Family Tomato. Lumpy Red, because it's lumpy red. Lenny and Gracie's Kentucky Heirloom Yellow. That is a beautiful looking bicolor. Big Yellow Simpson. Lena's Orange. Lech Fields Big Yeller Mater. West Epperson Sinking Valley. And I've got the Bug Tussle Buttermilk Wonder. Here's a Bug Tussle Blues Giant Blackie. Old Wyandotte. That should have went over here in this other pile. Here, I'm going to put that over there. Scratch that one. Just hold on to that one for a minute. Mary Rose McMurray. And Wagoner. That's another pretty bicolor. And then my Americana garden. And I know you guys have heard me talk about that. So this is what I got so far. And I've got Abe Lincoln, George Washington, and Miss Kennedy up there. I did not pull them out. But I because I don't know if I'm going to grow those this year or not. To be honest, I really don't know. Because like presidents, I mean, those types of tomatoes, they're all like red, and just plain red tomatoes are kind of boring. So that's where I'm at with that. I got Blue Ridge Mountain. That is definitely Americana. 3945. That has to do with World War I. West Virginia Penitentiary. And how is that Americana? Well, let's see. Only in the United States do we have the largest prison population in the world. And we have definite prison culture. And they grew this tomato. I can't remember if it was for their food or if they sold it. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Kim's Civil War Oxheart. I've got Liberty Bell. Oh. I'm knocking the camera all over. General Grant. I got Yellowstone and Yellowstone bicolor. Then we have, and this is a Jim Wyant variety, Hopkins Revolutionary. And Aunt Lou's Underground Railroad. I also have Poor Freeman. I think I need to probably pull those out because those will go in to my Americana garden. Now, lastly here, I pulled out 4 varieties here because there's just Fred. I got this tomato because, honestly, its name is Fred. And I think everybody should grow a tomato that's named Fred. And then, oh, I'm dropping things here. We have Old Wyandotte. Well, because I have Wyandotte chickens. That's a Jim Wyant variety right there. I have chickens, so yeah. Old Wyandotte. Dirty Little Chicken. Well, of course, because I got chickens. And why is that so important? Because my chickens love tomatoes. I mean, they ate a lot of tomatoes last summer. A lot. The turkeys, the guineas, they all like the tomatoes. And then last but never least, I got Walter. Now there's a story behind this. Okay. So I told you the story of Bill Jeffers. Now here's the story of Walter. This tomato variety, the reason why I wanted this is what was it? It was at the end of March, I believe. No, it was was it April? No, it had to have been the end of March. That's when I put my foot down because we'd been hem-hawing around about getting chickens, and it was getting later. It might have been April. I don't friggin' know. I'd have to go back and look. Anyhow, so Bob went out there, and he put the top onto. We went down and bought a used truck tarp. He put the top on there, and all of that. Set up the inside of the coop as a brooder. And we waltzed our asses down there to Wilco Feed and Farm and Feed, and because they had the baby chickens. And I had gone in there several times before, and I'd taken pictures of what they had available, how much they cost, yada, yada, yada. And we decided that we were going to allot $100 to buy the chickens. We had already bought food, feeders, brooder. We had it all. We had everything we needed. And, oh shit, I don't know why I shut that, because I gotta put that in there. And so we went down there, and they had just gotten their chickens in. And I went around, and I at first said I wanted to get 15 chickens. And Bob's like, that's a lot of chickens. Okay. So we settled on 10. So I told the lady getting the chicks out, I wanted 2 Americana for the blue eggs, 2 olive eggers for the green eggs. I wanted 2 dominant coppers because they're the ones that lay those really dark chocolate brown eggs. And then so there's 2, 4, 5. And then I wanted 1 each of a silver lace Wyandotte and a gold lace Wyandotte and 2 Novagen. Well, she tells us that they had misordered on the Novagen and they had a shit ton of them in there. And so they were on sale for $3.69. I was like, hey, cool, I want 2. So I'm up at the check stand. We're going to check out with these chickens. And I'm telling the lady up there that I wanted 15 and he didn't want me to get 15. So we're getting 10. And the lady that got out the chicks, she comes by it at that time. She goes, tell you what, you take 5 more Novagen and I'll give them to you for $9. Well, Bob, sure. So that is how I wound up with 15 chickens. So as they're going along and we throw them out into the coop, we notice that, we got an olive egger, but we got a spotted chicken in there, and this chicken doesn't fit with anything. Well, and then it got like a comb on its head, and Bob's like, I think it's a rooster. And I'm like, I don't friggin' know. I've never had chickens before. Well, Bob's never raised chickens either. Well, one day that chicken started to crow, so I promptly dubbed him Walter. I don't know why. He just reminded me of a Walter. Well, fast forward to the fall, I found out that there was a tomato named Walter. And because that damn bird liked tomatoes so much, I wanted to get the Walter tomatoes. And I couldn't find them anywhere. Nowhere. So, Alan in Heirloom Tomato Addicts Anonymous, he lives in Africa. He tells me my friend can get them in Australia, and he's going to send them to you. And so that is the story of how I got the Walter tomatoes. And so anyway, with that, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment, and stay tuned.